Hi guys, welcome to today's SetrocJC channel daily video. As usual, if you enjoy the content, please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment below. Now strap yourselves in, let's get on with today's daily topic. So, today's daily topic is going to be about Rome, and ancient Rome really. I've got a bit of fascination with history, so I thought I'd go over a bit about Rome in the olden days, so listen in. So if you go to Rome, one of the best things to do is go to the Colosseum. The Colosseum is obviously where they used to have all the games. Back in the day, they used to have lots of gladiator fights and things like that. And gladiators were basically slaves or people who wanted to be gladiators. But in order to want to be a gladiator, you have to be a bit mental because the chances of survival are very slim. So I'm sure when most people hear the word gladiator, they think of old Russell Crowe, don't they? All geared up with his sword and his shield and his hat on and his long words. But unfortunately, I don't think many gladiators were like him. Pretty sure that a lot of them weren't as rich as him, that's for sure. He certainly didn't need to be in there for the financial needs, did he? I'm not sure if that's a fair portrayal of a gladiator, but I'm sure some of them might have been like him. Maybe the unfortunate ones. So let me tell you some facts about the Colosseum. Once in the Colosseum they had games that lasted over 117 days. And not only gladiators used to die in that time, in that particular stint of days, over 9,000 gladiators were killed apparently. The gladiators also used to fight animals as well. So they used to go through animals like nobody's business. You used to have things like bears and crocodiles, hippos and rhinos. And they reckon some species were even made extinct because they managed to kill them all in there. They used to fight lions and flipping tigers and all sorts. It was really a bit of a free-for-all once it got going. Imagine that nowadays, you'd never get away with that. Animal cruelty, the bloody activists would be all over that, wouldn't they? Oh, don't hurt the animals, don't hurt the animals. And no one cares about the bloody people. People are more worried about the flipping animals. But a lot of the time, the peoples in them days that were fighting were like criminals as well. And half of them, they didn't even give them weapons. So they didn't even have a chance of survival. But I suppose it's better than putting them in prison like we do now and paying taxes endlessly and costing the taxpayer thousands and thousands a year. That's one way of sorting them out once and for all, isn't it? So they used to have gladiator schools which used to teach the gladiators to be obviously good, because it's obviously better for the crowd if the gladiators put up a bit of a fight against these animals and themselves. You don't want everyone to turn up and just die within the first few minutes. But just in case they were putting it on, there used to be a bloke who used to go around dressed as the god of dead, which was the Diz. And if anyone was lying on the floor, he used to go up to them with a flipping great big hammer and smack them over the head. And there used to be another bloke, his helpful attendant, who used to go around prodding them with flipping red hot pokers to make sure they weren't faking it, just in case they were flipping trying to pull a fast one and get carted away and then try and escape to freedom. So the Colosseum itself in them days could hold 50,000 spectators. And apparently women used to go around collecting sweat off of the gladiators. It's like, how did they get that off of them? Surely they're flipping the sweat with the dried up by the time they managed to get their hands on them. Imagine that. Apparently it used to be used as a great love potion. Bloody what, the love of a dead man? The sweat of a dead man? What kind of a sick person wants to put that on themselves? Oh, you smell nice today. What do you smell of? Well, you know that bloke in the bloody Colosseum the other day killed 12 people? I got your sweat on. Here's an idea. Why don't you take yourself in your sweat and get the hell out of my flipping room? Come back when you're blimmin' clean and take that flipping onesie off and all. So it wasn't all doom and gloom for the gladiators. The reason they used to sign up is because if the slaves, who were basically slaves, they had no freedom anyway, and the chances are they were going to die because the conditions then were appalling. If they managed to kill enough people or opponents, they could earn themselves a lot of money and some might receive freedom. So that is worth doing, and the reason they received freedom, they got it through like a wooden sword, which in them days was a symbol of freedom. And if the fighter became exhausted at the time when they were fighting, because I assume these fights had gone on for a long time, then he could call in the emperor, and the emperor would then give the thumbs up or the thumbs down saying whether he should survive or not. Imagine that. Flipping it. What if he doesn't like you? He might, if he's on there having a bad day or something, he's got his missus are giving him a bit of grief, you've got no chance, have you? So in the arena itself on fight days, which most seem to be most days of the year, they used to have criminals fighting in the morning, where they used to fight animals and stuff. They used to have executions during the lunch times, and the pro gladiators used to have a go at each other in the afternoons. So there's something for everybody there. You get rid of the criminals in the morning, get them off the streets, have a few executions, all death and gloom and doom in them days. Must have been a right miserable existence seeing people hacked to death every day. But apparently if you spoke out against it, the chances are you'd be the next one in. So I think everyone just used to go up and cheer and that because they had to, really, not because they flipping wanted to. But the Romans back in them days invented a lot of stuff like the aqueduct and things like that. So hygiene and that was high on their priority list. They used to have like fresh water being delivered. They used to have drains and drainage and taps, and they used to have big baths where they used to go and get massaged and clean themselves. So they were quite a hygienic bunch. But saying that, apparently they also used to clean their flipping clothes with wee. They used to leave pots of wee out on the streets, and people used to come and have a piss in them and fill them up, and they used to use it for flipping cleaning their scrubbing their clothes. Bloody cheaper than Persil though, isn't it? There was like 144 public toilets in Rome in them days, and they used to flush them using the water from the bath, so they were used to reuse the dirty water, so they're quite clever, this bunch. That's more public toilets than we get nowadays, and nowadays they even try and charge you, don't they? They charge you like 20p or something to have a wee or a dump. It's ridiculous. Why do they feel the need to charge you all the time? It's like, if you want good facilities, you have to pay for them. If you want free facilities, you have to muck in and go in these dirty ones. So kids had it a bit bad in them days. Apparently only the fit used to survive, because when they were born, they used to just lay them out on the earth and let them cry before they even washed or clothed them, just to make sure that only the fittest and the best survived. Can you imagine if they did that nowadays? You'd have no chance the old health service would come to a halt if that happened. There'd be people resigning all over the place. Didn't they used to have morals in them days? Didn't they used to worry about... Mind you, they couldn't have had morals with all the slaughter in the Colosseum and stuff, but still, did they not put any value on human life back then? So unless you're the fittest or the strongest, you don't deserve to live. Seems a bit harsh, a bit elitist, doesn't it? Apparently they didn't used to name their girls until 8 days and their boys until 9 days. I know naming a kid can be a bit of a test and a bit hard to do sometimes, but come on, you've got to do it quicker than that. What's wrong with you? They were all called the same things in them days anyway. They all had an us on the end, and they like Brutus or something like that, so surely they were quite limited. So just get on and name your kid. What's wrong with you? Get out of the Colosseum, stop watching slaughter and decide on a flipping name. But school children had a bit hard then. They only got 1 day off in 9. And then they also used to get the cane as well. Or a beating. The teacher used to beat you up if you didn't do your homework or if you were naughty. And they used to flog you with a leather whip as well. And the other kids used to hold you down while they were doing it. That's not very nice, is it? You wouldn't want to have afternoon lessons, would you, of one of the violent ones? He's just come back from the Colosseum at lunchtime. He's seen a few executions. He's got his bloodlust, and you've got him in the afternoons. You know you're going to get a flipping kicking if you do anything wrong. He's going to get the whip on you. So if you think the kids had it bad, don't worry about them. The women had it even worse. Apparently people used to let their kids die if it was a girl. If it was a boy, they used to let it live, but if it was a girl, they used to let it die, just because they didn't have a very good standing in society. How awful's that? And men weren't happy with the idea of a clemmer woman. They believed that women had to be controlled from an early age, and they used to marry the women off at 14 years old, and the father of the woman used to pick who they were. It's still like that. It's nowadays in some places. So the women were quite well looked after though. They looked after themselves. They used to remove their hair from their legs and under their arms with like the blood of a wild goat. And to stop it growing back, you used to rub the blood of a hare all over your body. They also used chalk as makeup as well, because apparently pale skin was the sign of beauty. Okay guys, so to wrap this one up, it looks like the Romans had a lot of stuff right. They had like the hygiene things right, they had sorting the criminals out early thing right. I hope they had proper trials though. I hope they actually realised these people were guilty and it wasn't just word of mouth or something like that. So it'd be a bit unfortunate to be chucked in there to fight for your freedom if you weren't even flipping guilty, wouldn't it? That wouldn't have been very nice. So their architecture is amazing. They've still got like the Colosseum there today. I think we'd probably struggle to build that in this day and age, so let alone then. And still our building certainly wouldn't be still standing and flipping thousands of years ago like theirs are. So yeah, so they were good at building, they were good at hygiene, but unfortunately they seem to like slaughtering people. So, but apart from that, I hope you've learnt some stuff about the Romans. Hope you enjoyed this content guys. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment below. I'll catch you in the next video.